Right now, sitting quietly inside a brightly lit gas station, a corner convenience store, or maybe even your local grocery store is a machine designed to take your life savings and make it disappear forever. You have probably walked past it dozens of times while grabbing a coffee, without even a second thought. But for a highly organized, ruthless network of criminal syndicates operating overseas, these machines are the ultimate weapon. They are actively hunting for your money, and they are using extreme fear, psychological manipulation, and unregulated technology to get it. This isn't just a hypothetical threat, and it is absolutely not just happening to naive people. It's a highly engineered trap happening every single day to everyday Americans just like you. The fraudsters are banking on the fact that you don't know how these machines work. Today, we're going to change that.
I want you to hear this. This is a very real, very devastating comment submitted to the Federal Trade Commission by an 84-year-old woman named Judith. She said, "Took me for $15,000 as they used AI impersonation to call me. I am 84. No easy recovery." $15,000 gone. Evaporated into the digital ether in just a matter of minutes. And you know what the most terrifying part of Judith's story is? The criminals actually convinced her she was doing the right thing. They completely bypassed her logic, hijacked her emotions, and systematically drained her accounts while keeping her on the phone. This could happen to you. It could easily happen to your parents or your grandparents. Because these scammers know exactly which buttons to push to paralyze you with fear.
Welcome to the Fraud Files, where we expose real scams and protect Americans like you. Today's case file dossier is an urgent tactical briefing, drawn directly from federal and state fraud alerts, including the FTC and the FBI. Here is our agenda to help protect your money. 1. Anatomy of a scam. 2. How the trap works. 3. Real victims, real losses. 4. 6 major red flags. And 5. How to protect yourself. This explainer could literally save you thousands of dollars. Let's get right into it.
Section 1, Anatomy of a Scam, the weapon of choice. To understand how fraudsters are stealing so much money so incredibly quickly, we first have to intimately look at the physical tool they are using to execute the crime. It's called a Bitcoin ATM, or a crypto kiosk. You've probably seen them glowing in the corner of a pharmacy or a bodega. They look intentionally similar to regular ATMs, but they operate in a completely different, infinitely more dangerous world. These physical kiosks convert hard cash or debit card funds directly into digital assets like Bitcoin. But here's the critical, truly terrifying difference between walking into a regular bank and using a crypto ATM. When you put your physical cash into the slot of one of these machines and hit send, that cash is instantly vaporized into a digital token. The transaction is instantaneous, and it is virtually untraceable by local law enforcement. There's no bank teller standing behind a counter to look you in the eye and question a suspicious out-of-character withdrawal. There's no automated fraud department to temporarily freeze the transfer while they investigate. Once that cash goes in and gets converted to crypto, it's nearly impossible to recover. It is basically the perfect instantaneous getaway car for a modern digital thief.
And the sheer scale of this digital theft is almost incomprehensible. According to Federal Trade Commission data, reported losses to investment scams reached a staggering $7.9 billion in a single year. Listen to that. $7.9 billion, not million, billion. Scammers adapt. They know traditional banks are getting a lot better at stopping fraudulent wire transfers and flagging bad checks. So the syndicates are pivoting aggressively. They are actively funneling millions of this stolen wealth specifically through these unregulated, unmonitored crypto kiosks. Because it's fast, it's anonymous, and it leaves the targeted victim with absolutely nothing but a worthless receipt.
Section 2, How the Trap Works, a psychological breakdown. So, how exactly do they get a perfectly rational person to willingly withdraw their life savings, walk up to a glowing machine in a gas station, and just hand it all over? Well, let's dissect the scammer's playbook.
The trap operates in 4 highly coordinated phases. Step 1 is the urgent call. The scammer reaches out via an unsolicited phone call, text, or email. They expertly impersonate a powerful government agency, local law enforcement, or the fraud department of a trusted company like Apple, Google, or Amazon. They immediately create massive, blinding panic, maybe claiming your bank account is frozen, you're implicated in a severe crime, or unauthorized charges are actively draining your funds. Step 2 is the withdrawal. And this is where the isolation tactic really begins. Under the guise of protecting your money from corrupt bank employees or hackers, they instruct you to go to your bank and withdraw huge sums of cash. But here is the absolute key. They refuse to let you hang up. They stay on the phone with you the entire time. They create this artificial bubble of panic, You're in your car, terrified, driving to the bank, completely isolated from anyone who could talk some sense into you. Step 3 is the ATM deposit. With the cash in hand, they direct you to a specific local crypto kiosk they've already mapped out. And step 4, that's the kill shot. They send a QR code directly to your phone. They soothe you, telling you that scanning this code is simply going to deposit your cash into a secure digital government locker to keep it safe. But that QR code is actually embedded with the scammer's own personal digital wallet address. You scan it, you feed your cash into the machine, and your money is instantly transferred to a criminal syndicate overseas. The trap snaps shut.
This precise lack of friction is exactly why they force you to use these machines. Think about the stark contrast here. Traditional banks have layers of built-in fraud prevention. They actively monitor for suspicious activity, they file official reports, and if a tragic mistake gets made, wire transfers can sometimes be reversed or halted before the money clears. But Bitcoin ATMs? They operate entirely in the dark. They are largely unregulated, they lack any meaningful consumer protections, and they allow scammers to operate behind a dense veil of anonymity. The very moment that QR code is scanned and the machine processes the transaction, the trail immediately goes cold. Section 3. Real victims, real losses. The human cost. We can't just look at the clinical mechanics of this crime. We really have to look at the psychological warfare and the massive human cost. These syndicates literally do not care who they destroy in the process.
Let's go right back to Judith, the 84-year-old victim who bravely reported her case to the FTC. The psychological manipulation she endured was absolutely sickening. The scammer called her, posing as a legitimate, authoritative bank fraud investigator. He convinced her that her money was already at risk, but that by using Bitcoin currency, she was actually helping the U.S. fraud investigation process snare the criminals. He fed her incredibly complex, totally believable lies about how the Asian central bank would eventually convert the Bitcoin back to U.S. currency once the whole sting operation was over. In her own words, she was so stunned and desperate that she believed the entire narrative. This is the ultimate betrayal. They used her desire to be a good, helpful, law-abiding citizen as the very weapon to rob her of $15,000.
And the financial devastation rips right through entire families, altering their futures permanently. Listen to this tragic FTC comment submitted by Sue Ann Sweatman. My father was scammed $11,000 because of this scam. It was all of their savings. They were told that he would not get his money back. He is also a veteran. $11,000, an entire life savings painstakingly built over decades of hard work and military service, totally wiped out in a single afternoon at a convenience store kiosk. These are not just numbers on a spreadsheet. I really want you to think about that. These are people's lives, their hard-earned security, and their dignity being completely stolen by faceless criminals who will never even know their names. Section 4. 6 major red flags. Spotting the enemy. The fraudsters rely entirely on your lack of familiarity with these machines and their tactics to steal from you. But right now, we are pivoting to defense. We're going to train you to identify the enemy's tactics before it's too late.
I want you to literally take a screenshot of this list right now. Keep it on your phone. Share it with your family. These are the 6 major red flags extracted directly from federal and state law enforcement warnings. Number 1, unsolicited urgent messages. They contact you out of absolutely nowhere on a random Tuesday afternoon and demand immediate, frantic action. Number 2, claims of compromised accounts. They tell you your Amazon, bank, or utility account is completely hacked and you're losing money as you speak. Number 3, threats of criminal prosecution. They claim the police or federal agents are coming to your door right now to arrest you if you don't comply. Number 4, instructions to withdraw cash. Listen to me carefully here. A legitimate bank or government agency will never, ever tell you to withdraw your physical cash to protect it. Number 5, false assurances. They'll lie and say Bitcoin ATMs are secure government lockers or federal vaults. They are not. And number 6, the ultimate red flag, scanning a QR code sent to you by a stranger. If you see even one of these signs, you are not talking to a protector. You are actively being targeted by a predator.
Section 5. How to protect yourself. The defense briefing. Knowing the red flags is only half the battle. Now we initiate the final section of this dossier, the concrete, tactical actions you must take to fortify your defenses and protect your money from these syndicates. Here is your defense briefing. Please memorize these steps. Number 1, never trust your caller ID. Scammers easily and routinely spoof numbers to look exactly like the local police department or the number on the back of your debit card. Number 2, do not download unknown software. They will try to convince you to install an app to secure your phone. It's actually spyware designed to monitor your screen. Number 3, talk to your bank. Before making a large, unusual withdrawal, tell the bank teller exactly why you were doing it and who is on the phone. Tellers are specifically trained to spot these exact scams. Let them help you. Number 4, verify claims using official contacts. Hang up the phone. Even if they threaten you, just hang up and call the official number on the back of your credit card or on the official utility website. Number 5, pause. Scammers rely heavily on urgency. They want your heart beating so fast that your brain literally stops working logically. Take a breath. Hang up the phone and call a family member or a trusted friend to explain what is happening. And number 6, if you suspect a scam, report it immediately. Above all, remember the golden rule of this explainer. No legitimate business, no tech company, and no government agency will ever ask you to deposit money into a Bitcoin ATM. Ever.
If you've been targeted, or if you have already tragically lost money, you absolutely must act. Do not let embarrassment keep you silent. The government cannot map these syndicates or track the flow of stolen funds without your data. Report the fraud immediately to the Federal Trade Commission. The website is reportfraud.ftc.gov. You can also report it directly to the FBI's Internet Crime Complaint Center at ic3.gov. These reports are so crucial. They help law enforcement track the criminal networks, follow the digital wallets, and issue specific warnings to other Americans before they fall into the exact same trap.
Now, you might be asking yourself, is anyone actually doing anything about this? Are the scammers getting caught? Well, the truth requires an honest reality check. State governments are finally starting to wake up and crack down. For example, California recently enacted the Digital Financial Assets Law, which strictly prohibits crypto kiosk operators from accepting more than $1,000 per person per day. This is a really crucial speed bump designed to stop victims like Judith and Sue-Ann's father from being completely drained of their entire life savings in a single panicked afternoon. But while regulations like California's are tightening, these criminal networks operate globally. They are highly funded and they move much faster than the law. The cavalry is not coming in time. The ultimate responsibility for protection still rests entirely on you.
The incredibly organized criminals running these crypto ATM scams are counting on your silence. They're counting on their victims feeling too humiliated, too embarrassed, or just too confused to speak up and warn their neighbors. But the days of them operating in the shadows and exploiting our lack of knowledge are over. The fraudsters are watching, but now so are we. Subscribe to the Fraud Files for your daily scam alerts so we can keep you informed and one step ahead. Comment below if this happened to you or someone you know, because your story might be the exact warning someone else desperately needs to hear today to realize they're being manipulated. And most importantly, share this explainer right now with your parents, your grandparents, your family, and your friends to protect them. Stay alert, stay safe, and do not let them drain your wallet.